it's very clear that it seems like some PlayStation fanboys are fed up with PlayStation.
Mm.
And some
You
are
don't
living in La La
say.
Land.
I know they're
Some
late to the party.
some are living in La La Land. So this is a long clip. We're not going to watch this whole clip, but just you just get the feel of it
Yeah.
in the beginning, all right?
Okay.
And then we'll talk about the other nonsense. But let's hear this. This is Persona Speaks and Jay Bowery from What's Up PlayStation.
So is also why, like, when I hear people say, you know, when you complain that PlayStation not announcing games or not showing gameplay or not doing showcases, shit like that, and I see people saying, be patient. Fuck it. Yo, excuse my language. If there's any children in the room, please cover their ears real quick.
Mm,
Yeah.
Fuck out my face with that bullshit, bruh. Like, respectfully, no, because at the end of the day, you're a paying customer and you're paying all this money. So to sit there and say, be patient, wait, nah, bro. Like, yo, real talk, that patience and all that shit is out the window because it's
Woo.
like, yo, you keep going up in price. We paying all this money on this console, on the PS Plus, and the prices keep going up and all this. And then most likely games are going to across the board, going to start costing $80 and all this stuff, right? All this money is expected from the consumer, but then when the consumer is demanding to see gameplay or demanding to get updates from developers and all this, they're talking about be patient and nah, bro. Like, yo, real talk. Or you know, you want to showcase from PlayStation or we don't need a showcase and we not ready. Nah, real talk. No, right? And the thing is, PlayStation has put themselves in this position or put their developers in this position where you're charging all this money, that grace period of giving people the right amount of time, that grace period is dwindling because now people are like, you keep going up in price on everything, but then you're not giving me the proper showcase. You're not giving me no dates. You're not showing me no gameplay. You're not being more forthcoming with information. So of course, people are going to start feeling restless and feeling some type of way. And for the people that saying be patient, man, shut the fuck up, man. Like that's how I feel.
Let's go.
Shut the fuck up, because at the end of the day, all this money is being spent.
Yep. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, keep it real. Let's go.
Yes.
We'll leave it there because I feel like
Exposed.
Woo!
Exposed. 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 Exposed.
listen.
Woo!
I don't know.
At some point, she had to scream, right? At some point. At some point, had to hurt.
I don't know these people like that, but this Persona
shout out
Speaks
to
guy is fucking finally like he's. I mean, not
Well,
finally.
listen,
like, I know what he
he's-
said in the past. I'm saying like he is finally representing a
absolutely
PlayStation
right.
person who's not fucking dense. You know what I'm saying? But the person who clipped them is in fact dense. And that's this motherfucker here. That is this motherfucker here.
What?
So you heard what a PlayStation fan, what Persona was talking about, right? I think
Yes.
it's pretty clear. PlayStation thinks they're some fucking elite. These motherfuckers think they're like, I don't know, Gucci or fucking
Prada. Yeah.
Well, this
Prada
lines up with
or
what you said
any of those
before,
fucking luxury
CMoney,
brands.
right? Like Ghost of Yote, yes, it's not looking, next gen. So, like, I love that he's bringing this up, right? From that end. And kind of like, why are you asking us to buy a freaking console that costs $700? Like, this is money going out. Right? What are you bringing to the table for us? Of course they want a freaking showcase. Of course they want to know what is happening with
doesn't?
these games. Exactly. It's exciting.
Well,
and to
apparently
hear
this other guy,
nothing
right?
from that end, it has to be nerve-wracking because you've already spent the money on the console and you're already invested. What are you going to bring to the table?
Like the thing to keep in mind, and I think I can't stand these dudes who think that like when you buy a PlayStation, if you're not a casual, right? Like, so if you're a casual, you just bought a PlayStation because that's what you heard. That's what somebody in the street said. And you said, "Ooh, I got to go follow because that's all I know." So PlayStation, here it goes. But the dudes that bought PlayStation or who are down with PlayStation, people like me who bought a PlayStation looking for specific shit, thinking I would get it, right? He clearly is looking for first party
Exactly.
PlayStation games. He don't give a fuck. Not that he won't play Death Stranding, but he's not stupid. He knows that that's not a PlayStation studio making that game. He didn't sign up for third party games. He signed up for first party games. And PlayStation has checked out.
Oh, for sure.
They have checked
for sure.
out.
All we know is how many games they've canceled. Like now, what are you going to do, right? How are you going to pivot? What are you going to work on? Like answers should be put out there, and it's okay to ask for them.
Absolutely. Why would, as a gamer, we came up this whole time. People want to talk about how we came up with exclusives. I can't let go of exclusives. You know what we also came up with? Showcases. We came up with events that showed you what was coming, right? We came up with that, but PlayStation noped out of that a long time ago, right? They thought they were above that shit. Why do I need an answer to a certain time frame? We'll do it when we want to do it. And these ponies have sat there and taken it, right? Taking it. Oh, we know they're working on something.
And we're like, what are they working on?
But they're finally getting sick of it.
Yes,
they
mean,
they want to be excited.
So.
They have nothing to be excited. If you're a PlayStation fan and you don't like Ghost of Tsushima, let's be clear. Ghost of Tsushima sold great. It didn't sell as much as God of War, right? It didn't sell as much as Spider-Man, right?
Exactly.
So there's plenty of people who are looking at Ghost of Yote saying this is the only fucking game they're releasing this year.
And they're not even making it a big deal, though. Like, Demo, you brought it up before. And it's like, why are you, if this is the game and this is what you're showing up with, how are you tweeting out the date? Like, go ahead, put something together, make it feel like special, important. And I feel like they're just like, etc. You know, with their things right now. It's like, fuck the marketing, it's just gonna cost us money, right? So whoever shows up shows up. Exactly. So it's at that point, it's like the more we invest, the less we get back. So, but that's not the consumer's problem, though.
Yep.
And especially if you went out there and just, you know, fall last year, you had a new console out. Sorry, but like, if you are not showing me a lineup of games, I can't justify giving you my money.
Yep. Like, dude, you just
not anymore.
Like Nintendo Switch.
They broke that trust,
right?
Mm-hmm.
You asked me a great question about what game would I drop to, you know, play Switch game. That's why we didn't buy it. But also, to be clear, you were 100% capable of saying I want to Switch myself, but you don't want to Switch because aside from just the money, right? They also did what? They didn't show. Who the fuck cares about third-party games on Switch? That's not why people bought the Switch to begin with. Sure, great. There's going to be more options for people, but what do we fucking want to see? We want to see the first-party games. And I don't want to see first-party games that you made years ago trying to bring Wii U back into effect where, we're going to survive on the Switch too with releasing Switch games with upgrades.
Yeah.
Right? I want to know, show me the bangers, show me Mario, show me Zelda, show me the big games that you got in the pipeline. Tease it, show it. Why? So that people could be hyped. For people like Doodle could be like, oh shit, look, they showed the new Animal Crossing, a tease that they're working on it, it's coming. Or the new Mario or the new Zelda, right? They didn't do that.
A new Pikmin, no, but they're planning to bring Pikmin 4 to the Switch too. Like, Pikmin 4 already released.
Because nobody bought it.
Come on, man. Just because you didn't make your cut, it's not our problem. If you didn't make what you didn't want, what you were expecting to make, that's not our issue, right? Yep. We got to move forward and stop trying to squeeze out of the consumers what they didn't show up for. Maybe they didn't show up for it for a reason.
Agreed. And that's really the situation, right? They lost
the idea
a sale because they thought that just them being them is enough, and it's not. We are proof of it, right?
I mean,
we have the funds.
You
We can
asked
go
me.
buy them
You
if we
said,
wanted to. We're not.
What are we doing about this? I said, I'm not spending a dime on that.
I mean, this is the facts, right? So they, regardless of how many people buy it, right? Those people were always going to buy it. So they didn't gain anything from the people who already bought it. Those were already going to happen. What they did do was they lost people like us who would have bought, frankly, more than most. Like if we were all in on the Switch, we would have bought 4 minimum.
At least
4. And
I
then
would say minimum,
and then I would have felt guilty,
yeah, and bought the other 4.
Bought the other fucking 4 for the other kids.
For sure.
So like they lost that. They lost that because they thought that they were big enough or good enough, and they're not. They're not. I always talk about they're fucked because the kids are not growing up with that shit anymore. But let's not forget how many people outgrow those motherfuckers every day too. So they're really working with a tight narrow where if they don't keep them, they're screwed, right? So all that to say, PlayStation thinks that they're them. You know what I'm saying? PlayStation thinks that we're gonna just keep it. And listen, to be clear, the casuals are gonna show up because in all these different countries, this is just the box that's sold, right? So that's not a problem. They're not gonna have a problem selling their shit. But what happens when you have more and more of their personalities, more and more of the people who are the hardcore, who talk to the hardcore, who can possibly influence the hardcore, and start making people look at them funny or make people see this and be like, yeah, they're not fucking doing shit. Why are they not showing us games that they're making? Why are they not previewing some of these games for us? Give us some fucking little snippet of some shit. I want to know what games are being worked on. Talk about these other fucking games again. And no, what you get is you get snarky studios saying, we'll show you the game when we're ready. Cool. Okay. So
you don't want my money.
We buy the game when we're ready?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
When you show us the game.
Powerful in this situation, bitch.
Yeah, that's
you know
the
what I'm saying. You're working for nothing right now.
You need us. That we have options. There are other consoles. There's Game Pass. There are many games being made. And if you don't show up with what I'm looking for, I'm not here to put out money first and then see what you do later. I think that's the problem. And I think we saw that play out with PlayStation.
Yeah.
Buy the console and then hopefully we'll, deliver. And you trust that they'll deliver because what are they making a new console for if not to go ahead and work with new tech and push, right? Push and see what else they can do to go ahead and bring something fresh and new and kind of go ahead and compete with whatever else is out there, right?
Sure.
We didn't know they were just looking to sell a box.
100%.
And they screw themselves even with the when it comes to Nintendo, even the amiibos. There are people that like collect these things not to even like open them. They just like the figures, and it's like they went up 50%. That's wild.
A lot of shit.
Yeah,
like we would also have bought amiibo figures.
Of course,
we thought we were gonna, when we saw them, we're like, oh shit, we're getting those.
Of course,
not at some fucking inflated price.
No,
they became eBay. They're selling you everything as if they were you were buying them on eBay. Like,
and you know what? I wouldn't mind buying something I want, like really want through eBay, even if it's like obviously.
Well, if you can't get it anywhere,
exactly.
Right? So that's it.
But for them to come out here and think that this is what they're going to do, no, I can't entertain that.
Agreed. Now, let's get back to this dude. So let's read his post. Okay. As a PlayStation gamer, I will never understand the desperation for getting a showcase when gamers have been drowning in games this year. Hell, this coming week, there's Fatal City of the Wolves, Claire Obscure Expedition 33, Forza Horizon PS5, Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remaster. This was before it actually dropped. That's why he wrote rumored. If it's a console exclusive you want in the next few months, PlayStation is getting Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Lost Soul Aside, Ghost of Yotei, rumored. Okay, so this situation is fine, right? For regular, casual, like I wouldn't even say casual, just regular gamers, right? Who just bought a console because they bought a console, right? What Astro is showing us that he didn't buy that console because he loves PlayStation games, right? Because all these games have nothing to do with PlayStation. Even Death Stranding 2 on the beach, because if Kojima didn't want to make Death Stranding 2, then he wouldn't have made Death Stranding 2, and PlayStation would have had no such game because PlayStation has no power over Kojima, right? So, out of all these games that were listed, 3 were Xbox games.
Mm-hmm.
1, I'm sorry, not 3. That's not true. Clair Obscur is
No, but it's in Game
is on
Pass,
Game Pass.
and
So
that's
for
why
us,
we've said it
it's-
before. It feels
it's,
like
exactly they feel
they
like they're
just
first
throw it
party
right in
games.
there.
But 2 are first party Xbox games, and then 1 is a first party PlayStation game, which is Ghost of Yotei.
And again, if you're looking for those first party games, and all you have is Ghost of Yotei, which by the way is not the next few months. It's coming out in October. That's far out. We're in April. So that's a while to wait.
Yeah, that's a long
and
time to wait.
let's face it, they're gonna want Call of Duty. A lot of them are gonna want Call of Duty, right? So to have the game come out in October is a bit messy.
Agreed. So he clearly is not concerned with PlayStation first party games, but the point of this all is that you chose PlayStation. If you're not in a country where PlayStation is just the thing that everybody knows, right? And if you're somewhere where there's a choice between PlayStation and Xbox, right? You chose PlayStation because of their first party output. That's what the only thing that would make sense to me. If you chose it for a different reason, I wouldn't know why. But you chose it for the first party. That's what you're supposed to do. That's why I bought a PlayStation. I didn't buy it to play third-party games. I bought it to play.
I mean, that would be
a first-party game.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it's stupid,
right?
Right? Because I enjoy Game Pass, right? So why would I do anything else? It's ridiculous. But PlayStation is showing you that they are not in the business of competing with first-party games. They are not competing. They are not. They have thrown in the towel. They've said, you know what? We're going to make like 1 or 2 games. And that's it. 1 or 2 games a year. That's enough. That'll keep them satiated, right? They're loyal. They'll wait. They'll say, I'm going to go have fun playing Xbox games until the PlayStation release ones. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think that's what what's his Hiroki wanted, though. I don't think Hiroki wants them playing Xbox games.
I think Hiroki
that one
prefers
hurts.
them buying PlayStation games for
Mhm.
sure.
I think Hiroki felt like these motherfuckers don't buy games. They just buy hardware, right? Little did he know.
Yeah, I know. He was like, it's not gonna matter.
He
All these
found
Xbox
out.
games, nobody's gonna buy them. These guys don't buy shit. They're just gonna play Fortnite and Call of Duty and Minecraft and Call of Day, Roblox. No, they buy. Elder Scrolls, Indiana Jones, Forza Horizon.
Who would have thought the Hiroki thought that you guys were too brokey?
Right?
And the
Facts.
hobos in the streets that wouldn't freaking buy a game. Right? Because isn't that what they say
Absolutely.
about people with Game Pass?
Absolutely.
Turns out that's what Hiroki thinks about you.
Facts. So what do you guys think? Demo, Hargeet, what do you guys feel about number one, what Persona was bringing up, about the idea of not having showcases, PlayStation thinking that they're gonna just raise prices, do all this shit, and not have anything to show for it. And then on the flip side, what do you think about the PlayStation defender who clearly doesn't really care too much about PlayStation outside?
Did you read that?
PlayStation first party. What'd you say?
Did you read what I
ourselves
highlighted?
in his house saying, "What the fuck, yo, G baby bars."
Oh my god. Well, I feel like I'm glad to see them, wake up like this. I think they should, go back to doing podcasting, together. I mean, I thought they were done, but they continue,
No, no,
obviously.
no. I think
And
it's episode. I think they were just announcing that on episode 200, whenever that is going to be their last.
oh,
So I
okay,
don't think
so
that's episode 200. They
I
bring
think
it up later on.
I think the new season should be called "Wake Up PlayStation." Not "What's Up." It should be "Wake
Oh, I
Up
like that.
PlayStation."
Damn.
So
Maybe we should
turn
have
on
a
that.
show called that "Wake Up PlayStation." It'll be like, kind of amazing. No, I'm glad. I'm glad because at the end of the day, look, they're gamers just like us, and then they're people who actually care. Obviously, they have a whole freaking channel about PlayStation, so it's good to see them wake up and finally come to the realization that they were wrong the whole time, and the PlayStation wasn't winning shit. And then PlayStation is actually in a lot of freaking trouble. Like you can see the stocks, you can see where the investors are going. You can see where the gamers are going. 'Cause, I mean, people they're gonna post you like the sales. Like I think it was a tweet that I seen recently about somebody saying, "Oh, make it make sense." Xbox only sold 101 Xbox on Japan in the month of March. Some stupid shit like that. But yeah, at the end of the day, what these companies want is not to sell you the console, it's to sell you the games. And this is where they're shining, I mean, and how is it even possible that the games on Xbox sell more than the games on PlayStation with way less users? I mean, according to console sales. So I mean, I'm just happy to see them finally calling PlayStation out. I feel like they should have done this a long time ago. They should have started calling PlayStation. But I'm just happy that it's never too late for them to like recognize where PlayStation is at the moment, and hopefully a lot more people jump in the bandwagon and criticize PlayStation, and maybe this way they PlayStation themselves realize we're doing something wrong. Let's give people what they want, and hopefully stop raising the prices like crazy like that, right? Because I mean, people got to speak up, man, and shit is happening, and life is getting expensive, and you're seeing a service that is, providing you with a bunch of games for at an affordable price, and it's like, what is PlayStation doing? Also, PlayStation, they made a mistake of shooting. They shot themselves in the foot by making the whole identity play it here. You can only play this in a PlayStation console, trying to sell you the hardware. And now people are like literally with high expectations, thinking like, okay, you told me that I can only play the PlayStation is the only machine capable of running these type of games or these games, and I see PC with better frames. In some cases, the Series X is competing with the PlayStation 5 Pro, which is like, I mean, come on, bro. Because I mean, you're gonna tell me you spend an extra $300-400 on your console just for 5 extra FPS? Like, is that really makes any sense? Like, that's ridiculous. So yeah, I'm glad to see them reacting to this in this way, and I think more people should follow, and people got to stop being blind about it, man. And recognize that where everything is going, that everything is now more accessible. That it's not about where you play. It's more about like, just playing and fuck all of the console war and screw all of like I can play this game and you cannot type shit. Like every technology is at the point that everything is compatible. For God's sake, Cyberpunk is going to fucking the Nintendo Switch. So I mean, not only that, Call of Duty is one of the biggest games. It's in the phone. Everybody has access to a phone. So the way I see it, I'm just glad that they just woke up, and hopefully we can see more PlayStation fans waking up, which I doubt. I I mean, I covered the generic Eric in my last video, and he said, "Fuck everybody who makes Xbox. I hate you," just like that. And I'm like, bro, when there's people out there like that, and they're just like console bigots, and it's just a bad look for the PlayStation fan base. And I feel like they gotta do like Xbox and fix a lot of things and put in a lot of work in the community for everybody to start respecting them again, right? Because the Sony PlayStation fanboy is literally like the scum of the scum in the gaming community. Nobody likes them. PC guys don't like ponies. Nintendo guys don't like ponies. Xbox guys likes them even less. So I mean, y'all gotta like do something for the community and change shit up so that we can start like accepting each other and tolerating each other, a little bit better. I feel like this gotta happen. And look, as a PlayStation fan, you have to call it out because if you actually care, you are gonna criticize, constructively. And about Astro Cyborg saying that PlayStation doesn't need a show, like, dude, like you might weird. Sometimes you defend Xbox, sometimes you defend PlayStation. Uh, I mean, you act like a neutral, but you're not. Obviously, with this statement here, you're showing everybody that you're really okay with what PlayStation is giving you. And you got here real PlayStation fans telling you it's not okay. So, I mean, it's time for you to pick a side, I think, like go and, if you want to clip, and, just pick a side, man. Don't try to be a snake. That's what I got to say. It is, yeah.
Oh, you man, absolutely. Hargeet. Oh wait.
Yeah, so the
Just
reason this
hold
is
on,
coming up.
real quick, real quick. I got the super chat of this here. The homie Lord Rob this, my dude.
yo!
Appreciate you, my brother, with that £5 super chat.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, my
What's
dude.
good?
Says, good to see you, man. Says Switch 2? Question mark. My wife was like, hell no, I already play Animal Crossing. Yo, bars. I feel that. And do you K now the bro boy insider with that $2 super chat? Appreciate you, my dude. Says just finished
Thank
Expedition
you.
33 prologue.
Let's
I'm
go.
hooked. Facts.
Enjoy.
That's fire. All right. Sorry about that. Go ahead, Hargeet.
So the reason this is coming up is simply Xbox actually has showcases and they're fun. That's just basically it, right? Eventually, like, this is all about art. It's supposed to be about entertainment, and you want to be enthusiastic about your entertainment. And if your competitor is throwing out stuff that's very fun and your side isn't doing that, it starts to feel like shit. It's just the way it is. So, you can take a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. How long are you going to keep waiting until you say, okay, wait, that side, it's fun. This side is shit. What the hell am I doing? Right? Like, what is going on? What are we getting? Where's our fun showcase? When's the last time you had like a B or higher rating for a showcase from PlayStation? I don't even remember. It's been years, right? And like, look, it's just a reality. And so it eventually starts to wear on you. And this is going to keep happening. You think this showcase is going to suck? It's not likely. We're hearing it's going to be even better than last year's. It's
That's
like, okay,
wild.
like, yeah, how, and you can see it, right? You can see it. Just the games they already have in the works. They're going to show you updates on that. And then there's new stuff that we hear rumors about. And there's other partnered things that we don't even know about. And it's like, you could just see that it's going to be crazy. What does PlayStation do? They drop their only game in a stupid tweet. They don't even care to have a showcase for it. Like, this is who they are. There's no fun behind it, right? You need to have somebody who understands the mindset of the gamer, who's like looking for that, how do you put this? Like the like camaraderie or what? Like whatever. Like the bringing the community
hype.
together,
The hype.
right? The hype and then getting them hyped for your platform, right? But you need to have that, right? Bring the people together in something, and you can't just say, "Here's a tweet about a game, have fun," and it's like, well, okay. Even like Oblivion was just a remaster. They still had a direct for it. They gave you a behind the scenes, what they did, how they did it, why this was done. What was the passion to make behind it to make this happen, right? That's got to happen, guys. Like there's just no fanfare, and you just have nothing to bring a level of enthusiasm up on this platform. And eventually that wears on you. And it's what it is. Like the competitors are doing it. You're not, right? Even last year's, Nintendo thing was like, hey, this is out of nowhere is like a B level showcase. And what do you get from PlayStation? Like you can see the ratings just over and over. They're like D or lower. They don't have it. They're not providing their customer with something that makes them want to be on the platform. And that's what it is. It just comes down to that simple thing. Emotion matters. And of all the companies, it's Sony is the one that's saying that. Kondo, they want emotion. Well, then make the freaking emotion happen.
They also said they believe in generations.
True. That's
so...
true.
True.
But the emotions they have this game that failed. They have Marathon coming. Okay, great. Nobody has any faith in fair games. I haven't heard nobody saying, "Oh my God, I can't wait for that game."
Nope.
This was actually positive from my perspective. Like Ghost of Yotai, I liked the trailer, but it dropped out of nowhere. There was no announced like showcase or anything. Like, oh, I can look forward to it. No, they just dropped it out of nowhere. Like,
Even
what are these
Oblivion
guys
said
doing?
it. Bethesda was like, yo, tomorrow all is revealed. That means, hey,
Yes.
I want you to pay attention to this. Sony said,
Exactly.
drop the trailer. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Including PlayStation. And it's like, well, hold on. Shouldn't you care? Shouldn't you want to generate some level of hype for your platform? It's very odd to me that this is the way they're playing it, but this is who they are. Like, I don't know what's changed. Like the mindset has changed, or if it's really just the original people that were there are all gone, and there is no actual like gamer mindset at the management level saying, hey, we kind of have to talk these things to our customers. We have to actually make them feel like they are wanted as a customer, and that we're trying to do what we can to make you happy to be on this platform. I just don't see it. I think they take them for granted.
Continue to invest on you,
Yeah.
and to kind of like bet on you, right?
Yep.
So
Exactly.
if the
I
reason
think they
is
just
not
take them for
there,
granted.
then what's the point?
They do. They think they're always
And-
going to be there.
Yes.
Yeah, they just take them for granted, and it's like, well, you know what? That's a recipe for disaster. Every time that somebody does that, somebody else can come in, and unfortunately for them, their competitors, both Nintendo and Microsoft. Nintendo has had a history of being there forever, so they know how to pull people in, and Microsoft has deep ass pockets to say, I like this publisher today. I'm going to go get them. And all the games that you like to play over there are games. Enjoy that. I'm like, what are you going to do to that? So, and then when their showcase happens, all their games are going to be there. They're not going to show their game on your showcase. It's going to be on their stage. So every game that you guys want to play are going to be on an Xbox stage. What are you going to do? And so the hype machine is going to be there. And this is always the thing that I kept pointing out, is like, Microsoft's going to have the hype. It's just going to keep happening. What is the other side going to do? I don't know, because they can't really compete to that level. There's just no way. So what are they going to do to generate hype? Well, this is what they're complaining about. Now they start to feel it, right? Because every year it's going to be like this. Microsoft's showcase is going to fucking be awesome. And Sony, well, you can hope they even have a showcase, because that's kind of how it's been.
Damn.
And I'm not kidding, right? There are years where they just don't have them, because they're like, we'll just have a state of play because we don't have anything to show you. So that's it. They don't have
And then
showcases.
they go ahead and they're like, hey, we have our showcase, and then it's ass.
Yeah. So that's what this is. This is essentially just like understanding that, hey, the other side has this enthusiasm and they have like these awesome showcases, and my side has shit. Oh, and by the way, the other side, everything goes in Game Pass, and I got to pay more and more and more and more and more, and I get shit. Okay, cool. How long is that going to keep working? Well, have fun with that.
Facts. Well, listen, I think at the end of the day, this shows you that people are starting to crack, right?
Mm.
That they're starting to get sick of PlayStation thinking they're providing something that they are not. They are providing what we call them all the time, and people try to defend them and act like it's not true. But the fact of the matter is that they are a store that dabbles in game making. Okay, they are Valve, right? That's where they wish they were Valve financially, but they are Valve in the sense that they have a store that they sell games from other people. And then every once in a while, they'll grace their fan base with a game. And this is, it's funny because Xbox has shown that there are more than one type of gamer out there.
Mm-hmm.
And PlayStation only seems to know how to talk to one type of gamer. And then even in that one type of gamer, there's sub types of gamers, because some of them like Ghost of Tsushima, some of them like God of War, some of them like Spider-Man, right? All single player story, driven, behind the shoulder games, right? But again, the sales are not equal amongst them, right? So some of them prefer one thing, some of them prefer the other, so they don't even have that nailed down. So it's just the wall is starting to crack. We're seeing Humpty Dumpty up there wobbling. Oh no, it's not looking good up there. I don't see PlayStation changing this, unfortunately, because all they've been trying to do is conceal it, right? They've been trying to hide it and downplay it because they can't afford the alternative, which is to try to compete. They can't. They cannot compete. It's just not possible.
Yeah.
I know our boy Edward Lafferty, he always be in the chat and he's always saying, well, they got a chance. They could turn it around. They could. How? One game is not going to do it. When Xbox drops 6 games this month, how is your one game at the end of the year going to matter to anyone?
Yeah, so the way I can see it happening is they decide to change strategy entirely and not do the $400 million games, and instead say, you know what, we're going to do 10 $20 million games, right?
But
so we'll have like
these 20 million games.
I don't know. That's a strategy change. That's a whole strategy change that have to make and say, you know what, we're going to do more South of Midnights.
Problem,
right? We're going to do more South of Midnights than we're going to do, God of Wars, right? And if that's what they want, if they make that change, they can actually compete. I just don't think they have the appetite, and that's kind of their problem, right? They want to make $400 million, failures like Concord instead of just making a $40 million game that, okay, maybe it works and maybe it doesn't, right? But they have this like quality bar stupidity that they just can't get past, right? You got to, if you want to, shoot your shot, you got to shoot your shot and not go crazy with it, right? So make stupid little games like Knack. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It doesn't break the bank, right? You got to have that kind of level of mentality. So if they can do that, then they could turn it around, because then they can have a lot of content. I just don't think the current management has the mindset to do it. They want to do this stupid cinematic thing. And it's like,
the problem is,
where's the quality though? Look at Concord. Like, we're talking about how much went into that.
Exactly,
it's like
$400 million. Are you kidding me?
So
like, exactly, it's shit.
Content for content's sake is not going to help them. They need to.
It has to be
all
fun.
Those people looking for $400 million games. They have to turn them.
That's yet another problem. They've created that
just
stupid
mindset
mindset
type of games, right? And that's not going to be it, because what is the whole point of PlayStation fanboys, right? They have this thing where they think PlayStation delivers at a level that no one else delivers.
High quality bangers, right?
That's what they think. Guess what?
Like
You drop
Astrobot.
that budget at $20 million, bro. You see what they do with the high budget. Imagine what they'll do with less.
No.
Like,
Well, we already know. We already know. Returnal, Zilchoid,
exactly.
Ratchet and Clank, Zilchoid, Astrobot, Zilchoid.
Nada.
Right. So we already know the answer. We already know the answer. They're not going to buy it. But this is their
Exactly.
problem, right? So, but if they wanted to compete, that's how they would have to do that. But they have to shift their game, their gaming fan base to understand that this is the new model. This is their own doing. They created their own problem. They decided to go to this high fidelity, cinematic Sad Dad walking simulator thing. And once they did that,
With Bloated,
that's the fan base they cultivated.
it's with bloated cost, because
Yeah.
Xbox has delivered high
Yes.
quality, high graphical fidelity at a fraction of the cost.
That's the thing. Like you brought up South of Midnight, and it's like if they can go ahead and manage to
South of Midnight
put
is stunning.
out freaking
Yeah.
5 or 7 freaking games at that level a year, it's like, okay, great.
They don't got the
But they-
talent to do it though,
Exactly.
because they don't have
The
the passion
talent,
for it
whatever
that way.
it is that is lacking over there, the
It's
passion. it's just not there.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But yeah, so this is an interesting one. So as far as like potentially competing, yes, it would take a whole shift. They have to do something. I don't know what the hell they're gonna do. But to your point, they're kind of like Valve. I think that's actually kind of disparaging Valve though, because
I know.
Valve's games are all good.
They're all bangers, and they make one because it's still being played till today from like 20 years ago. Goddamn Counter-Strike. How long can people play that fucking game? Doesn't end. It doesn't end. That's the truth.
But
That's the truth.
but either way,
Yeah, for sure. Let me get these super chats. We got the homie Do UK now, the bro boy
Yo.
with that $5 super chat, man. Appreciate you, fam.
Thank you.
Appreciate you being here. It says, I honestly really don't have an issue with the PlayStation platform for the most part. It's the self-centered, self-entitled prick fanboys that I can't stand. I mean, the fanboys are definitely a problem, but I have a problem with PlayStation as well because they're arrogant, right? They think they're bigger than they are, right? Like, it's
pretentious energy, that
it's like-
entitlement, that they think that they deserve your money without any explanation as to why.
yeah, like I think the idea of David and Goliath at this point we have to refocus that idea. Okay, that was one shot that dude took. It was a lucky shot. Okay, they ain't got the shot no more. Xbox is Goliath, and they will stomp little David forever. Right? There's no coming back from this. Right? There's just no way. So I do have a problem with PlayStation. The actual console. I mean, I don't like this console, but the actual existence of PlayStation as a brand that people buy and play, I don't care. That doesn't matter. It's another outlet for gaming. No worries. But PlayStation, their arrogance, they could go fuck themselves.
I mean,
These
and the
ponies
lack of
that are
quality.
assholes? Come
PlayStation,
on, man.
what PlayStation used to be, yes, awesome. What PlayStation is right now, trash. So
Um,
not acceptable.
let's go ahead and shout out our motherfucking homie.
Let's go.
661.
Thank you so
Who
much.
has gone ahead and gifted 5 on point for gamer memberships. My dude,
Thank you so much.
y'all know what to do.
Tell them, baby.
Put the motherfucking welcome to the family emoji in the chat.
Woo.
Welcome our newest members, man. We appreciate each and every one of y'all for rocking out with us. Thank y'all so much.
Thank
Let's
you.
see who it is. Let's see. You got Phoenix Freestar, got RC Polygons,
Ooh, I
got
see.
Queen Blueface,
Ooh,
you got Jake HH,
let's
and you
go.
got our homie Dion Landon.
Yes.
Shout out to you
Welcome,
guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate
Spartan
y'all.
661. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And
love.
yes, I do appreciate you so much, Spartan 661. Thank you, my brother. Appreciate you, man. We have the homie Lord Roughness in
Yo,
the building with
let's
that
go.
5 pound
Papa
super chat, man.
Roughness.
Appreciate you, homie. Says Sony does care. They just can't do anything about what's happening. Oof.
Yep.
I love that.
Ooh, that hurts.
I love that. Oh God.
That still
I
hurt.
could just imagine all of them sitting around the table like,
What
what do we
are
do?
we gonna do?
I don't know. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, we were at the top and now we're at the bottom. I'm stuck. I don't get it. I wish I could see it. I wish I could see it. It's
Do we
beautiful.
call Jim back? What do we do?
Can Jim save us? Any 1 month of the 12 in a year, Microsoft will drop a huge game. Hashtag Xbox for the win.
Woo!
Lord Roughness, you ain't wrong, brother. Appreciate you, my dude.
Thank you. Thank you.
And of course, we have the homie Do UK now, the broke boy insider.
Yes.
That $5 super chat. Appreciate you, my dude. Says
Thank you.
that generic Eric saw a Valve desktop on my PC. I posted on someone else's comment, called me an F slur, and told me to accept Christ and then block me.
What?
What the fuck?
What?
True story.
Wow.
That's real wild.
The nonsense that takes
That's
place
real wild.
is
That's real wild.
crazy.
Listen, there's a lot of really sad people in the world.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like for you to spend your time going on Twitter or in the YouTube channels of channels, like going to the comments of channels that you claim not to like or claim not to want to be around, yet you spend so much time in there. Like I think we need to get to the point where somebody like helps you. You know what I'm saying? Like you need some help. You
Well,
need
if
some
you
help.
cross it, if you've crossed those lines, right?
Yeah, like there's
you
a number
know,
you can call.
There is.
You know what I'm
There
saying? Like
is.
free ways to, you don't need to use Twitter
Mm-mm.
and YouTube comments to like exact your revenge on life. You know what I'm saying? Like just make the phone call. Somebody will help you. You know what I'm saying? It's needed.
agree.
It's needed. You should.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
That's
we got
rock
the
bottom.
homie Elijah Vasquez.
Elijah,
my
was
dude.
good.
Thank you for being a member for
Thank
5
you, love.
months, man. That's crazy. That's so dope.
Thank you.
He says the main problem is that Sony has curated an audience to purposefully hate those smaller games. Valve has Counter-Strike, but Minecraft is Xbox's CS, is their Counter-Strike. I mean, he's not wrong, right? This is what you were saying, Hargi. It's their fault. They found something that worked, right? They made, let's just be clear. It's so ironic that the game that did this to them is called The Last of Us.
It is.
Because The Last of Us is literally the game that set in motion what would become their future lineup of games. Everything is branched off of the idea of what The Last of Us accomplished. And
Now
that's
it's
just
the last of them.
the reality. Uncharted was more of a roller coaster, right? It was all this big stuff. That is not what they kept going with. You know what I'm saying? And even they tried to turn Uncharted 4 into that kind of when Neil took over that, and that didn't quite work. So they made this road where everybody who likes them today likes them because of this particular type of experience. The problem is when they were making these experiences on the PlayStation 4, remember, Last of Us was on the PlayStation 3. When they were making these experiences on the PlayStation 4, the games didn't cost what they cost now. And the problem is, I don't know if anybody can check or if everybody has it off the top of their head, but the value of PlayStation, how much has it gone up from PlayStation 4 times to PlayStation 5 time? Like, do we know if there's a big difference?
The value or like their revenue?
No, their value. So
PlayStation
or Sony is valued at what, like 120, 130 billion dollars. It was maybe like 90 billion back then. I don't know. I'm making this up. I don't know, but somewhere around it. I know they're $100 billion in that range. It's not that big of a difference.
So it's an interesting question of like, is PlayStation itself a separate valuation if you were to try to sell it, right, or put it on the market, than just Sony, right? And so is that a larger number than Sony? So I don't know. It's a very odd one.
Yeah, because they don't make that. I mean, if Sony's $100 billion company and PlayStation contributes how much in any given year?
I think they're like maybe I think the PS4 era was like 21 to 25, 26 billion in revenue, and now it's in closing to 30 in that range.
Okay, so clearly, the biggest problem you have is that the games are going up so much more, but they like the percentage of what the games went up versus what they went up as a value to them, like what they're worth and what they bring in is I don't think it's proportionate. And I think that's what the biggest problem for them. I think that's why they can't justify making so many of them or investing so much more. Dude, they invest money, man. Like, don't get it twisted. Sony has money. They don't have Microsoft money, but they have money. It's just they want to invest it smartly. So they are not investing in their gaming. They invested in music and movies, everywhere else.
I mean, they already did, to be fair, right? They spent a lot of money buying studios, investing in all these games, and it all
they
colossally
little money
failed.
on little studios.
Yeah, so unfortunately, yeah, it colossally failed. And so they're obviously going to say, well, we're not going to do that again. And let's try to pivot to something different. So, that's on them, right? So,
Agreed.
I can't blame them.
Well, yeah, 100%.